Yes, we are back right here on 92.3 Nigeria Info FM and talking figures right here. Before the break, I just talked about the guest that's joining me on the show as we look at the rising inflation, rising food prices, and what to do about it when you think about your money. I have joining me the CEO of Xend Finance, Ugochukwu Aronu here. Good afternoon, Ugochukwu. Thank you so much for making time for this.
Yeah, good afternoon, Choma. Good afternoon, everybody.
Okay.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, happy to have you. I mean, inflation has risen to 32.70%. That's the last figures of September. And food prices are also not doing well. We have it at 37.77%. Food inflation is the one that touches everyone. So even if the average Nigerian doesn't understand what inflation is about, the fact that to buy bread, you have to have at least 3,000 naira plus to be able to eat healthy. That's like the most basic way to talk about this. Let me start with asking you, what immediate steps can one take to protect their personal finance in the face of this rising cost?
Okay, so to be honest, when it comes, I think, my background is actually engineering, right? But because of my companies, I've been able to get some experience in the financial and maybe economics space. But I even know that till now, for people who study economics, this is a very difficult, question because it's not something that has a single answer, right? But I'll try my best to give as much information as possible. So first, it's not just even about protecting money. The question is, do people even have the money to protect, right? Because it's not just that you have inflation, you also have people who there's like a lot of loss of jobs right now that people don't have jobs. People are being laid off because businesses that employ these people cannot even keep up, right? So it's almost impossible for people to even make, money. So any amount of money people make, they basically just spend it on survival, right? Which is not great. So in terms of security of funds, for people who still have funds to secure, I think the fastest way or the best way is to be able to put it in some yield generation system in a different currency, right? Someone might say, look, if you're converting Nigerian naira to a different currency, for example, like the US dollar, that it will still have impact, right, on the currency generally. But when we really look at it, the number of people who are making this conversion or who would be converting these monies are almost, the amount of money converted would almost be insignificant compared to what, we have the likes of, let's say, the government agencies spending in wasteful ventures, right? And the major reason for inflation in Nigeria is the waste from the government. It's clear. This same thing also is happening in the United States, right? But then, because the US dollar is a global reserve currency, most times the inflation doesn't bite so hard, right? But we feel it more here because the Nigerian naira isn't. But conversion into a much stable currency like the US dollar is ideal, right? And then saving in the US in that currency is much better. I mean, if someone is able to yield on a yearly basis, right, on their savings in US dollar, that would be great. But like I said, going back to the first thing is to be able to even make sure you have the money, right, to be able to save. If you do not have that money, then that's a whole lot of problems. I mean, that's another problem entirely. Yeah.
Now let's look at businesses, especially the small and medium-sized businesses, managing operating costs amid this inflation. It's a challenge, isn't it? What strategies do you find would work if you want to recommend for business owners to navigate these tough times?
So, sorry, what strategies do you mean around
business finances?
Okay, so personally, right, I would just say for businesses really to be able to navigate these tough times, they need to look outwards. I'll give you an example. When you look at businesses that focus alone on Nigeria, you see that a lot of them are suffering massively because, Nigerians don't have very high purchasing power because of the inflation. And when you have businesses that completely focus on people with low purchasing power, what it means is that business will not be able to survive, right? And this is also where you see businesses in the technology space sort of thrive because they're able to offer services to people from different parts of the world from their homes, right? Yeah. Especially like software-based services. So I'm not saying every business needs to go that route, but then they need to really consider it. How are you able to offer your services to people who have very high spending power? I think for me, it's something that we also did we've been focusing a lot on people. We've been focused on people in Nigeria, but more like recently, people outside. I know I even spent over a month outside the country to be able to do like some form of business research, on what people want out there, how to extend our services to meet the needs of these people outside Nigeria, because they have much more stable currency. They have larger disposable income, which people don't have in Nigeria. If you're not making like food in Nigeria, or maybe you're providing like food, shelter, it's almost impossible for you to survive. I mean, people even now look for alternatives, right, to the regular food that they eat. So it shows you how there and how difficult the situation is. Yeah.
Okay, the phone lines are open now. If you're just joining us, I'm talking to Ugochukwu Aronu, the CEO of Xend Finance. We're going to get to what exactly that is about in a bit, helping us understand it in times like this and where it is in the grand scheme of things. But the phone lines are open now. If you have questions and sharing your experiences when it comes to how you are trying to stay ahead of this curve. Is he even curving? I mean, the lines are so way up there, right? It's not curving, it just keeps going up. So how are you staying above the line? How are you, navigating it? Whether it's your business finance or your personal finance, I'd like to get your thoughts. The phone lines are open now, 0817-923-0002. You can also call 0817-923-0003. And the WhatsApp number, 0809-030-6416. That's 0809-030-6416. Just drop your messages on WhatsApp. I'll read them live. We're live on Facebook, by the way. We're live on Facebook. We're also live on YouTube. And yes, you can go on there and also drop your comments, and I will read them live as well. What's your experience when it comes to, when you think about this inflation and the food prices? I mean, we did the personal story in the newsroom, and people have been talking a lot about the reality of having to always have to bump up your, housekeep money or something like that. Whatever you budget for your food, just when you're done writing, just top up 1,000 on top of all of them, so that the surprises won't be so much. Okay. What's been your experience, and how are you navigating, okay, as the inflation goes up and keeps going up, and it's not looking like it's going to come down at the moment, according to business analysts that have looked at this. And so that's why we have the CEO of Xend Finance talking to us about this. Now, Ugochukwu, I'm coming to you again. Talk to us about the patterns you've seen in trying to do the business that you do. Talk to us about the patterns you've noticed and what we should look out for.
Well, okay, so I think I'll have to explain my business first.
Yes.
So when I say what the patterns are, it would make a lot of sense to people listening. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so what we have done is Xend Finance basically has built a platform that allows people to convert their local currencies to stable cryptocurrency, and then to earn yields or to get interest in those stable cryptocurrencies like USDT, which is equivalent to the US dollar, right? So we've been operating since 2019 officially, and so we're like 5 years this year. So Xend Finance it's built by us in Nigeria, in Enugu, but Xend Finance is now in more than